Top of the hour. Hello, everybody. I'm going to turn the volume down there. There we go. I'll mute this. Give me just a second here. Sorry, guys. I got to do a little. There we go. Oops. It's not the way I wanted to start the show. That's not the way I plan on starting the show. Let's start the show without an echo. How about that? Okay, let's do that. Let's roll the open. It's the brand new Monarchs Mocha Open. Let's roll it. It's pretty fun. Here we go. Brew the coffee. We're brewing. Let me turn the volume up. So here's brewing. Our groovy coffee music. Very groovy. It's the groovy coffee shop music right there. It's very, very groovy. Anyway, you guys know that music, right? I mean, you don't know that one necessarily, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You go to the coffee shop and you kind of hear that cool vibe jams going. That's what I was going for there. So anyway, welcome to Monarchs Mocha. It is Wednesday with 2 more sleeps till opening day, and it's our week-long look at our American Association West Division Buckmakes. By the way, behind me, so to Nick. Hello, buddy, Nick. Nick's selling tickets. Nick, yeah, call this guy now. The operator is standing by right over my shoulder here. He's standing by. He's ready to go. Call this man. Call him. Come on, get out here. Get your butts out here. Let's go. Here we go. I don't think that's our official motto, but that's what I'm going with today. Yeah, I don't know if that's our marketing plan, but anyway, Nick's doing his thing. We're all just blowing and going. As a matter of fact, I had this for you. I was trying to show you guys. Let me see if I can do it for you again. For some reason, the audio was acting a little wonky, so I'm going to try it, see if I can get you. We got Michael Dixon coming up in a few moments, joining us from Lincoln, and we're going to go up to Fargo as well, the bomb of the hours. We'll get all that going here on Monarchs Mocha. Got my big cup here today. You know, it's warm out. It's warm out. It's still a little coffee, a little kick to get going here in the lunch hour. Glad you're along. Take your questions and comments as well. Move over just a little bit for the logo there to, here we go right there. Teams out there working out right now. They're going about it, doing a little bit of BP. They'll work out today, full workout today. Tomorrow, very light workout, mostly hitting in the cage. Tomorrow, some light running. We're the final day of the full run through as far as workout, getting a sim game in, all that. They've done sim games Monday, Tuesday, and then today. And that way you would have had at least, well, the 2 banana games, the Sunday game, you would have at least 6 opportunities for starting pitching and bullpen guys to get some work in as well. So that's all what's going on here. I'm going to see if I can give you a shot of the ballpark here. Give me just a second here, and if I can give this for you. I had it, and let me, while I'm waiting for Michael to show up, it's all good. Try it one more time. For some reason, the volume was causing an echo. It usually doesn't do that, but let's see if it'll do this for us now. I can give you guys a shot. There we go. No. Still doing it. Well, got to be smarter than the operator. I got this new phone, but it's not helping me. So anyway, let's move this. The old phone didn't do that. Anyway. All right, what are we doing? What's going on here? Again, opening night is Friday night. We're getting set, and again, I was trying to, I'll just do this. I'll turn it around here. I hate to do it this way, but give you a shot of what's going on down there right now. There we go. It looks like Bill Sobey's throwing BP, and Joe down there, looks like Darnell Sweeney stepping in right now. That's who's stepping in. You can kind of see the ballpark. Looking nice. Actually, it shoots it at a funny backwards, doesn't it? Let's see if I can change that. I can. Yeah, there we go. That should be better. This should be the right way it looks now. It should. Yeah, there we go. Yep, see the mirror's off. There you go. Home run patio's up and left. Ballpark looks great, doesn't it? Looks great. All right, Monarchs Mocha. This show, of course, Monday through Friday during the season. We usually look back with a Monarchs Minute. We, of course, don't have any highlights for you, so it's kind of hard to Monarchs Minute that right now. But we will usually wrap up the night before, give you an idea of what happened around the league, what happened here, any news and notes, how the team's doing, one on the road, kind of give you an update on injuries. A lot of times, especially, I remember one situation last year, we're kind of holding our breath. I believe it was when Ryan Grotjohn made a great play in shallow center and left the ball game. We were kind of hoping and kind of holding our breath. Well, you find out the next day on this show how those guys are. Going to get an update and get you set. On the road, we'll be taking you to places like the Falls and Sioux Falls, for example, right? With Winnipeg, going back to Winnipeg, we'll be doing our show from there. So again, Monday through Friday at noon Central Time. Really good. Just grabbing us a cup here and got the machine working right here. And again, yesterday we talked with Steve Schuster of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. And again, we got Lincoln and Fargo today. And then tomorrow we'll look at Sioux Falls. And Friday, in our final show before opening day, opening night, we'll jump right in there with our mates in Sioux City. Adam says, I wish I got to see Grotjohn in Springfield last Friday. Adam, I got a chance to see Ryan in Frisco against the Northwest Arkansas Naturals 3 weeks ago tomorrow, what it was. And he was playing there and had it at bat late in the ball game, and then homered, I believe, 3 days later when they got home. I believe it was a Monday. No, it was a Tuesday they got home. 4 days later, he homered in his return home to Northwest Arkansas, but good to see him. He wished everybody well. I think I mentioned that in our final show. But Ryan Grotjohn at Double-A there and playing for those Naturals, along with former Missouri Tiger Robbie Glendenning, who's from Australia, and Michael Dixon standing by. He's coming in. We're going to bring him on in just a moment. He's in the virtual green room. He's surely getting ready to go. We'll bring him on in just a moment here on Monarchs Mocha. Our regular season schedule starts, and I haven't seen the. I'm gonna give him just a moment here. He's kind of getting in there, and then when he does, we will see him in the green room. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't see his face yet, so I'll kind of wait and see his face kind of pop in there, and then when it does, we'll bring him on. Lincoln, I think, and just before I'm interested to talk to him about this. I think Lincoln is sort of the one, the dog laying in the weeds, kind of lying in the, kind of hiding out. A lot of folks have sort of forgotten, about the sun. I don't think on purpose, but I think anytime manager change late in the year, like they got last year, late in the off season, I think you're going to see Brett Jody's club be right in the mix. And they were in the mix most of the year last year, but I mean right at the top of the mix. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and see if he'll jump in. I don't know if he can. Michael, can you hear me? I can't see you, though. Can't see him. I can just, I'm going to bring him back down again. Michael, try again there, mate. And he's a little trouble logging in there. Let's see. Wait just a moment. Michael was there. We'll give him just a moment. Again, we talked a little bit about this last year with King County getting a late start, getting their things together with George Samus, and he did. He finally did, and got the club. I don't like this angle. The angle gives me this fat neck. You guys drives me crazy. Anyway, let's try to get Michael. Let's see if Michael. I'm going to text him real quick.
So many options, right?
Guys, bear with us here. There he is. Right? He's back here. Here he is. Here he is. He's ready. I'm going to hear him. I'm going to bring him in now. Michael Dixon with those Lincoln Salt Dogs. And there he is. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Dan, great to see you. And can you hear me all right?
You're great.
Beautiful. Awesome. Yeah, no, great to see you and great to see your office again, buddy.
Yeah, it's the office back in. And I was just telling the folks here that, and I guess this is where I'm going to start with you. Brett Jody got a late start last year, but you saw this club, Salt Dogs were in it most of the way. I think this year, with his having his plan in place all off season, I said before you came on, laying in the weeds, kind of they're my pick to be there right to the end because, I mean, he's got a chance to really put his plan in place.
Yeah, it was kind of a silly year last year because the one thing that kept Lincoln out of the playoffs was an inability to take care of business against Houston. And
Yeah.
I thought for as good as Kansas City was last year, the Salt Dogs actually played them pretty well too, even though the Kansas City was a just flat out better team. And so I think that one thing I learned about Brett last year, and this is something I learned as a broadcaster, and I think I've learned through the players as well. You just want to work for him. You want to play for him, and I think that is why the Salt Dogs stuck around for as long as they did. And again, if they pick off a couple of more wins against Houston, then they're into the playoffs, and who knows what happens. So we'll see this year. I think it's going to be a huge help to have Brett back for what is a full off season, because you know how this works.
Yeah, need that off season for sure. And Lincoln was a thorn in the side of the Monarchs last year. It was a tough battle. I mean, really going back to opening day. I didn't get a chance to really, dive into your lineup, your roster with our folks a moment ago. But on paper, it looks like you've got that same sort of makeup that Brett had last year, but maybe a couple of his guys.
Yeah, he did a really good job of bringing back guys who were fan favorites and good players last year. 1, 2, 3, and the order is going to be the same, at least to start. So you'll have Bird, Ryan Long, Josh Altman. That's a formidable 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You've got Kyle Kinman on the mound opening night. So he was the ERA king in the league a season ago, and one of the few candidates I thought for pitcher of the year. And then on top of that, you've got a couple of bullpen arms returning. It's going to be tough to fill James Pugliese those shoes. I mean, he was so good, probably the best closer in the league last year, and had really a shocking number of saves based on a guy who really hadn't done a whole lot of that in his career. I mean, he just stepped right into that role, and it's gonna suck not to have him at the back end of that bullpen. But I think there are some names that fans will love. They don't know who they are yet, but they're going to love them. And it's the first year in 7 that Kurt Smith won't be in the lineup. Yeah. So it's going to be a weird year. And I've talked about this too with all the other guys. The division is just murder, right? So there's not going to be a moment this year where you can try and find your way. Right. You're going to have to be 100% there from the beginning, or you might not make the playoffs, even in the expanded playoffs. I mean, it's that tough a division. So we'll see, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, some really good teams not going to make it. I just can't see how. Mm-hmm. I mean, because the new division format, Winnipeg, obviously Jordan and Fargo. Fargo was in the league finals last year, and you can make a case that, like you just said, the right win here and there. Lincoln's in over Sioux City, and those two teams aren't stepping back. I mean, you've got of course, Kansas City loaded. Some really good teams not going to make it. I even said too, as good as the Monarchs were, they could easily, and whoever wins the division could win fewer games and maybe be a better club, because the challenge and the rigor of the division can really bring that forth. And this is going to be a real challenge competitive-wise.
Yeah, I think Kansas City's an interesting team because you have so many up and down the roster who could be gone tomorrow, right? I mean, it's Kansas City's roster is so much different than everybody else's from that perspective. So you can sit here and say, and I think rightfully so, that the Monarchs are the best team in the league, but what will they look like in mid-June? Right. And it's weird. I mean, that's why we're here, right? You want to provide that platform for guys to get back into the affiliated ranks and have a chance to make it back into Major League Baseball. But I think one of the cool things, though, about our league is that you have players who are really, really good, should be in affiliated organizations, but for whatever reason they're not. And you build teams around those players, and it gives us a chance to kind of watch everything unfold as the year progresses. So I always have a tough time projecting what the playoff field will look like or who's going to win however many games, because you just don't know. And I think that we know just resources alone, Kansas City, Fargo, Winnipeg, Sioux City, Lincoln, Sioux Falls, resources alone, that is murder. That's absolute murder. And you just don't know how it's going to unfold. I can't wait to get things going on Friday.
going to be a blast, and I love international baseball. Our folks know that, and
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Smith not being there, but a guy that's played
Mm-hmm.
for the Dutch national team. That's going to be weird because I just gotten to the point where I just pencil him in that lineup card in Lincoln or whenever we see Lincoln. It's like Kurt Smith, and he's got the longest bio of anybody in the league besides maybe Reggie Abercrombie when he was at Winnipeg. I mean, I get so many nuggets you can use on Kurt Smith, and now I just lost 10 minutes of broadcast time. Who steps in as that face of the franchise, you think?
Well, I think the next guy is Josh Altman, but I also think Altman has as good a chance as any to get picked back up.
Sure.
So that's kind of how Kurt's career began in Lincoln. Really, he was in and out of affiliated ball, and he found a home in Lincoln. But he was there, got picked back up. He was there, got picked back up. If memory serves, I can't remember the timeline exactly.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
You can sit. Yeah, you can sit there and say that Josh Altman's the face moving forward. He's going to be the guy. He's probably the best hitter in the lineup, and he's one of the best hitters in the league, right? Like top to bottom. He had an unbelievable season last year. So Altman has the makings of that, but I'm not sure he'll be here all year. We'll see. He doesn't have to be necessarily be the face because so long as he wants to keep playing, he's going to have a home in Lincoln, and I think that might be something that we see here for the next couple of 3 years in Lincoln. So Josh Altman, I think, is an easy candidate. But also, I don't think you can sleep on what Kyle Kinman has meant to the franchise as well. And he's a Omaha guy. Should have broken camp probably with the Braves in 2018, I think. It didn't. Tommy John surgery a month later. And so he was right there on the cusp of his major league debut. And then now he's getting ready for a fourth season in Lincoln. And he's just been remarkably consistent. He doesn't have the most overpowering stuff, but he's been so consistent for the Salt Dogs ever since he joined up in, 2019. So
19,
Kinman's another face too.
His voice, Michael Dixon. I'm Dan Vaughn. The show is Monarchs Mocha. We're chatting here, talking about the Lincoln Salt Dogs. We'll be talking about Fargo in a few minutes. But, I love coming to Lincoln, and as a broadcaster, I love the setup. We were actually last night, Brad Alder was chatting about how, that setup's so great for broadcasters. For you, let's kind of put the broadcaster shoes on for you because you get to see a lot of places, and I'll take Kansas City out of it because I don't want to put you on the spot. So we know you like coming here, but what are you looking forward to most about the road this year? Anything you're looking forward to, a place you got to get to, or maybe a place I got to get to?
Well, we haven't been to Winnipeg in 3 years, so I think that when you say it like that, you realize just how long this pandemic has lasted. So
unbelievable, isn't it? That is bizarre to me. It is so bizarre that we haven't been up there in 3 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I've grown a lot as a broadcaster in the last 3 years. So it's weird to think about where I was, at the age of 24 when we were last there in 2019, and going back here in 2022. I will say this though, and I wish we had the schedule a little bit more consistent like we had last year. I mean, I get why they did it, but with the All-Star break and everything, it's not as much, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and then Monday off. It's kind of a wild schedule. We have a couple of really brutal turnarounds. We have 2 9-game homestands, which means we've got a lot. We have, I think, 2 or 3, 7, 8, 9-hour bus rides to play 3 games and come back. That's going to be tough. Yeah, and Winnipeg's a long trip. That's 10, it's even longer for you guys. And we go to Winnipeg. We go there twice in the first month and a half. So we're actually done with Winnipeg by early July, believe it or not. So anyways, I think Winnipeg's an easy one. I love going to Fargo. Fargo is, if the winters in the Midwest weren't as brutal as they are, Fargo would be a place that, man, I wouldn't hate living in. Honestly, I love the summers there, and I love Newman Outdoor Field. And obviously,
it's cool.
I speak for the rest of the league when we talk about Jack and going to hang out there. So Newman Outdoor is an easy one, and I'm interested to see what they've got in Lake Country. I'm assuming it's going to feel a lot like Milwaukee and a lot like Cleburne because the stadiums look very similar, maybe a little bit bigger than Cleburne, but it's always nice to have a new team in the league, and nice too to have some stability. I think you'll agree, not have to deal with the travel team, and we know why. It was just a weird year, but it's nice to have 12 permanent American Association members because the league feels complete that way.
Absolutely. It's like Sean Aronson used to say, your strongest link, weakest link, they both matter. And having 12 strong franchises is huge. Huge. Michael Dixon with us here. A couple, just wrapping things up here. For you, you've been a busy, of course, you're busy in the off season. You do a lot of stuff for the DFW Metroplex, if I can speak. There we both make our homes in the off season. But you recently got a chance to do some AAA games. How was that, doing a little Omaha? I was, first off, happy for you, but how was that experience?
It was cool, man. It's way different. It's a lot different as a broadcaster, and it took some getting used to. I thought I was going to do 4 games, and I ended up doing 6 because Jake Eisenberg, who is the play-by-play guy in Omaha, he had to go to Kaufman last second and fill in for the Royals in that little 2-game set against the Cardinals. So they called me and they said, "Hey, can you do these games?" I said, "Yeah," and it was cool too. My dad actually came up to hang out for a little bit. And so he wasn't able to be there for the first week, but it just so happened that he could sit in the booth with me for a couple of those games when they were playing Columbus. So it's a lot different as a broadcaster because you're talking about a lot of these guys are on their way to Major League Baseball, and not so much, what we talk about on all right, how does this guy get back in? Or maybe a guy's been in like Kurt's a great example, right? Like Kurt's narrative in Lincoln became he just was a good ball player, kept playing international baseball. So the Salt Dogs were a way for him to play year round and met his wife, settled down in Lincoln. You don't get that in the international league. So there are things that are really cool about it. There are things that I do appreciate about the American Association when you compare it to, AAA, and in the sense that really each and every night they are there to win, right? Whereas, the big league clubs kind of dictate who plays when, where, who pitches what innings, stuff like that. So it's a little more methodical, but the name I'll remember is Alex Faedo, who was a guy in the Tigers organization, a first-round pick in, I think, 2017. He was on that really, really good Florida team that won the College World Series 5 years ago. And he wasn't great in 2018, didn't pitch pro 17, wasn't great in 18, really, really good in 19. Tommy John in 20, missed 21. 22, he was that was his AAA debut, and he went 5 innings, I think 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts, and you were watching, a blue chip guy who's going to be a Detroit Tiger on his way, and so that was cool.
So cool.
But I do, I do love what we have in the American Association, and anytime you get a chance to call any level like that, you got to do it. And so it was really fun, and I'll be doing it again in late September.
That's awesome.
After our season ends. So.
I got to do middle innings for a couple up in Frisco with Northwest Arkansas with Nicholas Batters when Frisco played the Royals. And
okay, so you did it, yeah.
And it's different. You're right. It is different because we're talking about where do these guys fit in the organization prospect wise. Where we're talking about where these guys, who's going to sign them and what's their future. It is a little different future. But final thing with you, I had a conversation yesterday with Steve Schuster, and I asked him, and I want to just get your feeling on this. And I heard Brad last night on Instagram, Auburn, your old broadcast partner in Cleburne. He and Connor had this rivalry going on about burgers. And I'm not going to talk about that necessarily because you and I agree on the same thing here. But I think, Steve is able to throw now. He's pitching. He can kind of do a little velo on him. And I'm going to catch, and I want your shot of who do you think? Do you think it'll be Allred or Connor Ryan will get the most hits off of Schuster? Schuster's pitching. I'm catching, calling it. What do you think about that, man? I think that's just something to do for charity or something. Really make it happen. What do you think?
Connor Ryan easily.
Yeah,
I've seen Brad. We played during a rain delay in Chicago in 18. We played. We went out to the center field outside the clubhouse where they have a little opening, and I don't remember how we got a bat, but we got a little mini bat, and then we had some of those little stress balls, and for a couple hours we played a game 4 years ago.
There you go.
And I saw Allred swing, and he's got absolutely no chance to hit Steve. I don't know Connor Ryan's swing, but I know that Allred has no prayer. And
I told Steve that I would just let him throw whatever. I just put fingers down, and he'd shake me off, and I'll just be fine. I mean, first off, I got to make sure I get down there and catch, and not get up again. That's gonna be the biggest key. But anyway, the thing with Steve is he can't tip his pitches, right? It's all about that release point. It's all about the release point.
And, I was watching an overlay of Kyle Hendricks the other day, and he threw pitches that literally looked identical on the release point, and one ended up and in, and the other was about 18 inches off the plate. So Steve's got to keep Connor Ryan guessing, assuming that Ryan can hit, but I'll take Ryan.
I appreciate it, my friend. Always good. I know we always stay in touch in the off season, and really appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks, and always looking forward to get to Lincoln and enjoying my got some good coffee up there in that Haymarket as well. But appreciate your time, and best for you in that season, and also happy for you in that AAA opportunity too. Appreciate you, mate.
Thanks, Dan. We'll see you soon.
You bet. That's Michael Dixon there of those Lincoln Salt Dogs play-by-play voice. He is a dear mate, and I think nothing but highly of him. And really, I think he agrees with me that Lincoln, what makes them so scary is that you've now got, it's a little bit like the 17 season of the Monarchs when they were the T-Bones, when Joe Capietro was sort of putting his plan in place. Now Brett Jody's got his plan in place, and that culture can start to build. Place that we were just talking about, we love to go to, and we were just talking about going to Fargo. We love going to Fargo, and I'm bringing Fargo in. Now, right there on your screen, Chad Ekrin, the Media Relations Director, correct? Is that what I'd be the proper title? And you've seen Chad's face, I'm sure, on some of the different association shows. First off, Chad, how are things up in Fargo, and welcome to the show?
Things are good up here. Thanks for having me, Dan. We've had an unusual winter where it finally stopped snowing about 2 weeks ago. So, that's always tricky, trying to get things ready. But it's finally, it finally feels like springtime here. So we're hoping that summer is right around the corner.
Hey, you bet. We love going up there. Michael and I were just talking about it. The show is Monarchs Mocha. We're a new division bunkmate. I mean, this is kind of, we just saw you guys in the championship series last year. Heck of a year for Fargo, and now you find the Fargo Boyd Redhawks in the same division. What's the talk and what's the thinking about the new division from a Fargo Boyd perspective?
Well, I mean, clearly, we faced Kansas City last year in the finals, and I mean, you guys had a unbelievable club. I mean, it was it would have been fun to watch if we weren't playing against you. But, I think the biggest thing is just, we're not going to have the familiar Chicago, Milwaukee's that we've had now for a couple of years. Sioux Falls has kind of bounced back and forth between being in the north and the south. But I think we really, we're excited for the kind of a new level of competition that, different from what we had in the north. Whereas, Kansas City is obviously, you guys are poised to be another contender again this year. Lincoln is, looking good. Sioux Falls, Sioux City, Cleburne. I mean, those are all tough teams, and we followed your guys' playoff run last year as we were in our playoffs. And right. I mean, there's a lot of close games between teams. Oh. And not to say that we didn't have that in the north, but you guys definitely there were some competitive games. A lot of teams look evenly matched. So I think that's what we're going to look forward to this year. Just some really competitive games.
I'm going to throw this out there I don't know the culture of the Northern League, but the old Northern League rivals, which be Winnipeg, Fargo, and St. Paul. That was a real rivalry, kind of a triangle rivalry. Those three teams, and I guess Sioux City to a degree, but really those three teams and the fans had a real venom for each other. With St. Paul gone now, shifting divisions, is that kind of maybe the fans are a little easier on it now? Because can you imagine in the same year losing St. Paul and the rest of the Chicago teams? I mean, having the fact that you guys have already flipped once, is that maybe the fans' adjustment a little easier because you missed you still got Winnipeg as a rival?
Yeah. Yep. No, absolutely. I mean, those were some great rivalries between St. Paul, Winnipeg, and us, and especially the fans that traveled. Our fans would go there. Their fans would come here. We had, a ton of Canadian fans during those years that would come down here. And there was times where you couldn't tell who the home team was. I mean, right. There were just so much, cheering for both sides. And those, those clubs were both great. And still Winnipeg, is obviously another great rival. It was odd having to, share our stadium with them in 2020, but, it was, we were glad to do it. And, you get to kind of know your rival a little bit better when you're, your neighbors. So it was fun. Winnipeg series are always fun. We enjoy, they're always competitive. Nobody wants to lose those. No. I think that's the ones that, Chris Colson and his staff mark on. It's like, okay, we need to, we want to pick up wins or at least win the overall series with these guys in the year, because that's still a big rivalry. Obviously, the Saints, back in the days when they played at Midway was a lot of fun to go to as a fan. I know for a broadcaster, it probably wasn't as much fun just because of the old stadium, but the train in the outfield, the tailgating in the parking lot. I mean, that was about as much of a party atmosphere in the Northern League and the American Association as that you could get.
Yeah, I really wish I would have been in the league at the time. There, voice you hear is Chad Eckren. He's with the Fargo Boyd Redhawks, media relations director, good friend of ours. Dan Vaughn with you, Monarchs Mocha. We're looking around our new division bunkmates, those Redhawks, and let's talk about the team real quick. What's Chris got on tap for us? I honestly, I got to look because we got to see you guys next week. But looks like some familiar names, and some of that nucleus is back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're fortunate. We have 15 starters returning for us this year. We picked up some guys that played with us a couple of years ago who were picked up by affiliated ball and now are back with us. Drew Ward, who was the batting champ of 2020. He had a fantastic season, and then, we were obviously excited to see him go to Detroit. Always wish players the best, but we're also glad to have him back. Sebastian Kesse is another pitcher that was great for us. I mean, he was a go-to starter. He pitched fast. He pitched hard. He went to the Diamondbacks organization. Right. So they're back. Obviously we've got John Silviano back. He was our king of Game 5 in our Northern Division Series final. I still get chills thinking about that Grand Slam. Just how we weren't quite sure how that game was going to end up. Yeah. We were trailing at the time, and then he comes up to bat, and it was fantastic. So he's glad to have him back. Pitching staff, we've got Ryan Flores, who had a fantastic 2021 season, probably the best of his career in the AA. So he's back. We've got Luke Lind. I'm trying to name off everybody here. Davis Feldman, Tyler Grauer. Obviously Kevin McGovern. I don't know how I could have forgotten Kevin McGovern. It's it's that busy time of the season where
I know.
To have Kevin come back after his start for us last year was amazing, and not only that, he's just an amazing guy. Like, you talk to him, and it's like talking to a kid playing Little League. I mean, he has such excitement and passion for baseball, and it was great. I got a chance to sit down and talk with him before he left. And then to see him back, this year with us is phenomenal. He's also taken on a dual role. He'll be working with our pitchers. So I think, he brings a lot of, experience, a lot of knowledge to the game. And it's awesome that he's willing to share that with other players on our other pitchers on our staff.
Chad Eckren with us from Fargo. You mentioned the John Silviano thing. And do you know the story from our standpoint for that? I don't know if I've ever told. I don't know if you know this.
I don't think so.
We were actually here watching that game because we weren't sure we were going to go, and we were literally in the clubhouse, buses outside, loaded. We weren't sure if we were going to Fargo or Chicago. We knew we were going to be leaving town, but we were all little. We had the game up, and the guys were kind of playing cards and watching the game. And I was actually in John West, our first base and equipment manager's office, watching the game with him and his son. And we were all, because we weren't sure. We didn't know. I mean, we literally didn't know we were going. We had no idea which hotel we were checking into, and really it kind of flipped back and forth. And we were and when all of a sudden that home run, we were like, okay, I think we know where we're going now. And we even got a little. I think they had got a couple on late, but still, we were like, we didn't know. We were all literally sitting here at the ballpark, and then game's over. We loaded up and left. Went to Fargo.
I do remember you telling me that now, and yes, that was. I mean. Talk about a weird situation where you're sitting there waiting to see who you go to play.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's the problem when you guys, go and sweep all your opponents in the playoffs. You've got all this time to sit around and watch us struggle or battle it through with our opponents. But no, it's, we were, we knew regardless, if we were to win or lose that, that Game 5, that whoever won was going to play the Monarchs. And I think, I can't speak for Colson in his staff, but I don't think anybody was looking ahead. They were just looking to how do we win Game 5? How do we get out of here? And, early on in that game, we went down quickly. And, I remember kind of, you hate to give, that speech like, okay, thanking everybody for their time and, all the game day crew and, our public address announcer, music, all those guys. But I was like, okay, I'm starting to prepare. Okay, what am I going to say? Thinking this is it. And then all suddenly, we get this little run started, bases then become loaded, and then John's up to bat, and gone. And
that's awesome.
We had a small crowd because, of course, it's as Michael Dixon alluded to, it's always cold here. So in September, it gets a little chilly, and so we had I think maybe 1,500 fans here. For those who don't know, Newman holds about 5,000. So, so definitely a smaller crowd, but that crowd sounded like 5,000. Like, I could not believe how loud it got in here with, not a packed house. And so that was awesome.
Yeah, there wasn't even energy in the postseason. We loved coming out there. You're right. It's like the Uber driver told me when I was there for the playoffs, I Ubered somewhere, and he said, "Yeah, we're about a month away from snow." I looked at him kind of like, "Huh? What? A month away from the snow?" I'm like, "It's like September, sir." I'm like, but I get it. Wrapping things up here on Monarchs Mocha. As far as and Michael and I said this, Steve Schuster, and I've said this over and over again. This division looks to be so loaded. Am I pretty safe to say that some really good team is not going to make the postseason? Even though we have the new postseason format, I think somebody really good is going to be left out in the wings.
Absolutely. I mean, it's that's the one, I guess, exciting but yet kind of nerve-wracking thing is this league, this division is loaded. I definitely think that there's somebody on the fringe or on the outside looking in that probably deserved or should have a playoff spot. We start off the season on Friday in Winnipeg, which will be interesting to see, weather-wise and whatnot. But that'll be a kind of a test to see how it goes. And then after that, we come down to Kansas City to face you guys, and then Cleburne. So we get our big stretch of travel done right out of the gate, which is nice. I mean, because nobody likes to be on a bus for 12, 15 hours. So it's nice to get the Cleburne trip out of the way and then really kind of focus on playing Red Hawks baseball, being home, and having fun.
How's Jack? How's Jack Michaels, the voice of the Red
Hawks? Jack's doing well. He's Jack.
He's always. I'm sure he's already preparing his palate for his road trips because he loves to get the road snacks.
I told him. I said if I had a quarter for every time that he told me about his allergies or this or that, I said I could retire now. I wouldn't have to be here. But Jack, Jack is a great guy. He's I know he's definitely one of the longest, if not one of the announcer broadcasters in this league. And he's a road warrior. I mean, when he's not doing Red Hawks games, he's on the road doing UND football.
Yeah.
When he's not doing UND football, he's doing UND basketball, and then he comes back here. So I asked him, I'm like, why do you even pay? Why do you have a house? Like, you should just get an RV and drive around.
That'd be like a great reality show too, like behind the scenes with this vagabond broadcaster that does all these games. I'm thinking I'm onto something here.
There you go. Yeah, as long as I get an EP credit on that, it's all yours. It's all good.
Chad, I appreciate you though. I appreciate your time, man, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys here see Jack next Tuesday, and look forward to working with your staff and anything we can do for you. Please let us know.
Oh, absolutely, Dan. It's always.
That's you guys. Looking forward to getting up there. We're up there. Gosh, when are we up there? We're up there. A ways. July. So it'll be beautiful up there when we get there in July.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it should really be beautiful. Again, we're looking forward to playing you guys. Hopefully we have a better outcome than we did in the finals. But it'll be fun. I think this season's going to be great. And likewise, we look forward to having you up here in Fargo. Eventually I will make my way to Kansas City.
Yes.
I definitely want to see, I've got responsibilities back here in Fargo that kind of prevent me from going on the road, but it's always fun traveling, either with a team or just, kind of following them and seeing the new places. I haven't been to Chicago yet, so I definitely want to go check that out. And Kansas City and Cleburne, I think the only ones on my list and obviously Kane County and Lake Country.
Get out here and go to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum here in Kansas City.
Absolutely. I'm a baseball fan, and when you guys made that partnership, I was like, that's awesome. Really, it's so good to kind of give due to those who played and basically couldn't make the majors or couldn't elevate because of the skin of the color of their skin. So that's definitely on a list. I'm sure if I'm down there, Jack will be with me, and we'll hit you up on some good barbecue places. something that can he can eat without going into some sort of reaction. But no, I kid. Jack is yeah.
He's a piece of work.
There.
I get it. I appreciate your time, mate, and best to you.
Yeah, likewise. You too. Thanks again for having me. Like
bet.
I said, it's good to see everybody. It's starting to feel like baseball finally. So let's play ball.
Let's play ball. There he is, folks, from Fargo Moorhead Redhawks. That's Chad Eckman. Appreciate his time for joining us here on Rain Reborn. Actually, not on Rain Reborn. That's the off-season show. We're on Monarchs Mocha. There we go. See my coffee. Final time. Wave goodbye to Nick. He's up there selling tickets. He's the guy. Nick, should I call you direct?
No.
What should we do?
Call the box office.
Call the box office. That number is 913-328-5. 913-328-5618. Operators and ticket reps are standing by. But Nick's up here just working away. We're getting things ready. Morgan's doing a run through today with kind of making sure some of the things are working. We're working hard to see you folks in 2 more sleeps. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, the ballpark. Sioux City comes a-calling. We're ready for that first one as the Monarchs will try to go back-to-back in what will be a very stacked division. Well, something we've learned so far, we all agree, talking to both Michael and to Chad today and with Steve yesterday, I mean, the division is going to be very tight. And I think I will continue to give you this thought. This Monarchs club could be better than last year's club, but win fewer games because, A, you take out the Houston games, and just you look at the schedule and the series coming up and down the road, you know, winning one's hard enough. Winning two is hard enough. Winning a series, and I think you're going to see it be a lot closer race than maybe what it was last year. Now, I say that right here, and the Monarchs may run away with it. Who knows? But I think you're going to see a really fantastic race throughout the season. And I think the number 2 key, and I'll say this again tomorrow, and I'll talk about it on Friday, and I'll talk to Joe about this too, is that it's inevitable. These Monarchs, because they're here, these guys are here because of a culture they bought into, they're going to get a chance to chase those major league dreams and leave this organization and go to affiliated baseball. It's that next guy up. It's those spots that Joe continues to fill, and he is the best at that in the association, and that'll be the big key. I heard Michael Dixon talk about how the turnover is probably going to happen. It's those next guys. I will add this, though. Last night on Instagram, we did a chat. It was Brad Allred, Connor Ryan of Cleveland and Sioux City, along with our commissioner, Joshua Schaub. And Joshua was saying that he believed that there'll be fewer players leaving this year than the years past. Now, he thought there was some dynamics in place last year, shorter spring training, the COVID year, all those things kind of went into a lot of guys leaving. He felt like there'll still be a lot of guys go, don't get me wrong, but the mass number of players last year will be down some. At least that was the feeling he got from talking to farm directors, scouts, front office people with Major League Baseball. Now, that could all change, and it really could be an organization by organizational thing. That's something to watch as we go forward in 2022. Tomorrow, Sioux Falls is joining us. Connor Ryan will be with us on Friday. He's a Sioux City. It's Tanner Hoops, the brand new play-by-play voice of the Sioux Falls Canaries, will join us tomorrow right about 12:05. We'll roll at 12 o'clock. We'll brew us a cup, ready to go on Monarchs Mocha, and get you ready and talk about those Canaries. Some big things in Sioux Falls off the field. Well, actually, I should tease it this way. Off the field, on the field, how about that? And we'll talk to Sioux City on Friday, getting you ready for opening night right here at lunchtime on Monarchs Mocha. Of course, every time we come on, you can subscribe on YouTube and get that notification. We're also on YouTube and on Facebook Live. And of course, we'll take your questions and comments. I'll give about 30 seconds, 45. You have anything you want to fire off? I'm all ears. And if you need anything, you just want to ask anything at all, we expect to have a pretty good idea of what this roster will look like in about 24 hours. I'll give you that tomorrow as well. I don't think I see anything. I'm just double checking to make sure I don't see anything from anybody, but I'll give you a last call on questions if you have anything. And of course, big weekend coming up. Oops, sorry about that. I don't want to hear me there. Oops, sorry about that. That's not what I want to do.
Hey, Erlene, this is Nick with the Monarchs. How are you doing?
He's busy. He's just flying around here. Look at this
Doing
guy.
good.
This
Hey,
guy
I'm
live on the
sorry,
air.
didn't
I
give
don't
you the
see
correct
anything
info.
else from you guys. I'm
There
just seeing
is
here
a miss
if
error
there's
on my
anything
part.
else.
Your
Nope.
last call questions. Mark for his
Don't see anything.
Anyway.
Anyway, all right. Last call questions is gone. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow right here on Monarchs Mocha. I say it every time. You're the best fans. I know you are. I believe it. You guys are the best. The fans of those Kansas City Monarchs. And let's be better tomorrow than we were today. Let's show more love tomorrow than we did today. Let's get ready for opening day. 2 more sleeps, baby. 2 more sleeps tonight, tomorrow. Opening day here at Legends Field in Kansas City. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. We'll talk Sioux Falls Canaries. Have a great rest of your day. And let's roll the close here in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
So the original payment was correct. It was just this final payment. It was just